Let's start with the fin.
The fin. Well, that's Ben. It's the men's heavyweight boat. One sail. It's a very technical boat to get the boat speed up, and it's a very physical boat to sail.
And what sort of specific rules are around the fin? Is there anything stand out?
This illegal propulsion rule comes in with the fin because at 10 knots, as I said earlier, the Oscar flag will be flown, which will allow free pumping. If the wind then drops below that, they will restore Rule 42 at one of the marks with a RYA flag, and then pumping is back to straight to the Rule 42 limits. They're not allowed to do just whatever they want.
If someone misses that flag and doesn't quite notice it as quickly as others, is there a certain time frame?
Yeah, that's probably rather like saying, after you've gone around the mark and the flag's being displayed, it's probably like going into the 30-mile-an-hour limit saying, "I'm awfully sorry, officer, I didn't see the sign."
Right.
There's no excuse. You are expected to see and know.
Okay. So let's talk about the laser.
Well, the lasers, yes. Paul Goodison. The laser is a very popular boat. You'll find it in nearly every sailing club in the country. They're all absolutely identical, and it's a very difficult boat to sail well and fast. And downwind, they're all over the place, because they're running heavily by the lee. There are various things they can do to actually make it go faster. Rule 42, this illegal propulsion rule, is always on, so they're not allowed to break that at any stage. So again, they will get close monitoring from the judges in all of their racing.
And the laser radial?
The laser radial, exactly the same, a slightly smaller rig for the ladies, and again, very competitive.
Let's look at the 470s now. Let's look at the men's 470.
Oh, right, yes. Yeah, Luke Patience and Stuart Brithell. So the Rule 42 for 470s is 8 knots. So after 8 knots, they can pump and they can roll and do whatever they like over the 8-knot wind speed. And again, that comes on with an Oscar and is restored. Rule 42 is restored with a RYA flag as well.
Into our 49er, quite a popular one visually, particularly when the winds are up.
We've got a couple of the ones that aren't going to the games right behind us. And they're tremendous. Skiff sailing is out and out speed. They can come together at marks, particularly the windward mark and the leeward mark, and that is where you get most of the rule situations with them. Rule 42 is certainly not really an issue with them in anything over 6 knots, and even they have special dispensations because it's a fully battened rig. It's one where it comes down very much to the crews working together. Get it wrong and they find out very quickly. And in a blow, probably a bit of luck as well. If the wind's 25 knots or a little bit more, as we saw in the last Olympics, it's an exciting boat to sail, but a bit risky downwind.
A bit frisky, isn't it, that one?
It is, yes, yes. They get extra points for the kind of dive they do when it all goes wrong. A half pike, an extra 5 points or something.
Good. We'll be looking out for those. Hopefully not from our boys. Then we're on to our match racing girls. Then we've got 3 people in this boat. What are their roles in that boat?
Well, the easiest one to describe is the one that's steering.
Yep.
You've got spinnaker things, so you've got spinnaker work, so you're going to have someone actually, controlling the sheets and things in the boat, and someone else looking after the pole and jibing. And then again, while you're sailing, it's getting your teamwork together, so that you'll find they'll roll tack them, and you've got to get that action, And 3 people is harder to coordinate than 2.
Yes.
Which are harder to coordinate than 1. But some of us are not coordinated anyway.
And then looking at the RSX men and women.
The RSX men and women, yes, that's the hard one because they're always pumping in the lighter winds, and it's a very, very physical thing. It's the course that I'm on actually for the Olympics, so I'm looking forward to watching it.
And the Star.
A very physical boat, a very large rig, no spinnaker, but an awful lot to do with the rig. And I was working with Ian, a couple of weeks ago. And I was looking with great interest at how you control the rig with various pulleys and cleats and things to power the rig up and power it down. A very technical boat. Again, it's one where Rule 42 applies, because downwind, if you can get it to roll, they go faster. But it's how you get it to roll. You've got to be very careful that you're not breaking this illegal propulsion rule. But again, the racing is very, very close in them.